Hi there. My name is Ron Harvey. For almost 30 years, I was a park ranger. And during that time, I worked at some amazing places all across the United States and did some amazing things. But one day, I was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, the most painful medical condition one can have. Scared, depressed, anxious, and full of despair. I didn't know what to do or how to live with this. With the help of all my loved ones, online support groups, a sense of humor, and a lot of trial and error, I was able to start learning to live again day by day. There's a lot of things to be shared with folks about trigeminal neuralgia, especially to those who have recently been diagnosed with this issue. That's why I'm here. Come join me and my noggin nemesis BoBo and learn how to fight back. Welcome to Trigeminal Neuralgia Hacks with Brainger Ron. Hi there. I'm Brainger Ron. Think of me as your own little personal tour guide as we walk down that path called trigeminal neuralgia. You might hear some kids in the background. I live near a school and it's their field day, so they're out fielding. So if you're watching this video, you're probably about 3 or 4 different types of people. One, you're somebody who has trigeminal neuralgia or been recently diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. And if you're one of those folks like me, you're doing all the research you possibly can to learn as much as you can about this nasty little brain booger we have. 2, second group. Well, you're a loved one of somebody who has trigeminal neuralgia. And just like group number 1, you're trying to find out as much as you can as well. Well, I hope that for group 1 and group 2, I can help out. Group number 3. Group number 3. Well, what can I say about you? You don't have trigeminal neuralgia. You're not trying to help somebody with trigeminal neuralgia. Let me just say, you don't know anybody with trigeminal neuralgia. A lot more nicer that way. But it does tell me one thing. You have a weird browser history. Not judging. Glad you're here. All of you. And I'm hoping that I can help out in some way or form. Give all of you a little better understanding of what's going on up here. And a couple hacks that we can do. And I think it might make your life a little bit easier. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just somebody who has trigeminal neuralgia. Trying to help the best way I can. Don't expect these videos to be too long, except maybe this one. And there's a good reason for that. I can't talk for very, very long without having a flare come up. You ever run into somebody that you just like, oh God, I can't stand their voice, drives me crazy? Imagine being you, where your own voice kind of gets that little brain booger going. So I can't talk that much. If I do, sometimes I'll get a little aphasia, stuck on a word, where I just can't do anything. Need to take a lie down. And I'm certain there's one or two of you out there who have the same problem. Sorry I'm huffing and puffing so much. Spent all my life walking on trails. Now I can barely walk a sidewalk at times. I'm okay, guys. I'm staying near and dear to home. So I do have a problem. Oh, I'll just call the wife and she'll come get me. Now, I also can't look at screens very well. My phone screen's about the only one that I can look at any length of time without having an issue. I'll be doing all the editing too on my phone, so I apologize if it gets a little bit jumpy, or the noise is a little bad. I work with what I can work with. Now, it's not just you and me on this hike. I want to introduce you to somebody I know. Known him for quite a number of years. His name's BoBo. Say hi, BoBo.
Hello, everyone.
We'll talk about BoBo here in a little bit. Really, the first thing that we need to discuss, though, is trigeminal neuralgia. What is that all about? Most simplest term I can give you: trigeminal neuralgia is an issue where the largest nerve in your brain has been injured in some fashion or another. And we'll go into that just a little bit. Before I can do that, though, we need to talk about the trigeminal nerve itself. Did you know that you have 12 pairs of nerves running through your brain? I mean, they're just everywhere. And trigeminal nerve, one on each side. It is the largest, and it provides all the sensations you can feel in your face, both externally and internally to some regards. Now, if you take a look at images of the trigeminal nerve, usually what you find online is sort of a profile picture. It's like some bald person just standing right there, and then they've got this wiggly stuff coming out around their temple. Well, that's kind of how the nerve is and how it's not. Up here in your brain, right above, about right here, it's kind of where your brain meets the bottom part of your skull. And on both sides, there's this little depression, almost kind of like a shell. And that's where your nerve is mostly sitting, big fat part of it. Now, the nerve itself comes up from your neck, not too far down, the third cervical disc, and then kind of sits in that little shell, like an oyster. And from there, it breaks out into 3 different holes up here in your skull. Now, the first one is called the ophthalmic nerve. And surprisingly, it comes out your eye sockets. Next time you give somebody the stink eye, you just remember, you're just not trying to eye them down. You're flashing your nerves. Now that nerve comes up from your eye socket, runs along your forehead, goes about halfway up your scalp. And it's just not one big honking nerve. It spreads out. Start down here, little oyster comes through those holes, and from there starts spreading out in threes. Think like a root on a tree or a plant. It just keeps on dividing and dividing and dividing. Well, that's pretty much the nerve. Now, the ophthalmic nerve also goes right here on the bridge of your nose. You have that itch, or maybe when your glasses slide down on the brim of your nose. Yeah, that sensation you're feeling is because of the trigeminal nerve, the ophthalmic. Now, it also goes a little bit down into your sinuses. So if you feel like you got jaywalking, couldn't have done this when I used to be in uniform. Nobody's around though. Okay. Where was I? Ophthalmic nerve. If you ever get the feeling of like a stuffy nose, something like that, itch up there on your forehead or brim of a hat hitting your forehead, well, that's from the ophthalmic nerve. By the way, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'm not a doctor. But I did find this wonderful video. Runs about 27, 28 minutes long. It's from a guy by the name of Sam Webster. Put a link down in there for you. It's worth every minute. Incredible man. Has some incredible models that kind of track through the whole grooves and whatnot of the trigeminal nerve. All right. So ophthalmic nerve. Forehead, nose, up here, and a little bit in your nose. Next one's the maxillary nerve. And maxillary, back there in the oyster, spreads out through another hole. And it just briefly touches inside your eye and then slams right back down into your face. Now, the maxillary covers the rest of your nose, upper lip, and here along the sides. Right? So if you ever get sort of that burn or tingle from trigeminal neuralgia, well, that's thanks to the maxillary. Now, the maxillary also goes in up into your upper jaw. If you have a issue with a tooth pain up there, yeah, that's maxillary. Third one, it's called the mandibular. Mandibular goes out its own little hole, comes down through your cheek, spreads out your lower jaw. It also covers up there around the temple area too. For me, when I start getting a flare, I have two tells, physical tells. One, I'm gonna get a burning in my cheek. Actually, it's on the other side. My messed up nerve is on the right side, but I'm left-handed, so guess what? I'm holding you in my left hand. Anyways, mandibular, temple, down along your jaw, your chin, lower lip, lower teeth. So that's the nerve. What does it do? What does it do? It provides all the sensory output to your face. Sometimes something can happen to a portion of that nerve, whether it's down in there in that little shell or somewhere in your face. Imagine you had a trauma. Boom, boom, a little bit better. And maybe you break your nose or your jaw or eye socket. There's a possibility that you could have earned or injured one of those sections, one of those three sections or more of the trigeminal nerve. That's one, trauma. Boom.
Hi, guys. So, remember when I said when I was talking a while back and said that sometimes talking can get a little bit too much on me, and I have aphasia. I also sometimes forget a few things. I did miss one type of issue that people can have in getting trigeminal neuralgia, and that is actually through surgery, whether it is some sort of oral or nasal surgery. Anything kind of surgery can also cause some damage to the trigeminal nerve. So there are actually a lot of people out there who have gotten trigeminal neuralgia through some sort of medical procedure. So I'm sorry I missed that. There's actually one other thing that I'm going to bump into and interrupt myself in just another minute or two. Hang on. I'll see you then.
You can also have MS. In fact, when you go to your neurologist, one of the first things they do when they order the CAT scan, they also get you tested for MS. Make certain that there's no other nerves that are involved. They'll also ask for Lyme disease, and it's sort of a neurological thing going on too. What they want to do is they want to do a ruling out of issues before just saying, hey, that's what you got. So, trauma, you could have a tumor or some sort of growth up back here in that little oyster shell, that I like to call it, that cradle that holds the main lump of the trigeminal nerve. It's called the ganglion, by the way, trigeminal ganglion. But yeah, you could have a tumor there, cyst, something pushing up against the nerve, and that can irritate the nerve and have all those flashes of pain hit your face. You could also have an artery or a blood vessel, a vein, sitting there on top of all or what just one section, two sections of the nerve. And it just keeps on rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. Sometimes it'll poke right through the protective sheath of the nerve. It's called the myelin sheath. And once that sheath is rubbed away, oh, that's where the fun begins. Basically, you have an exposed nerve, and something just keeps on rubbing up against it or tapping against it. And since your nerve is literally raw, that can cause electrical shocks in your face. Literally, there's a lot of people out there who have videos about trigeminal neuralgia, and they can talk about the pain in a much more dignified way than I can. Yep. Oh, got some construction going on. Hang on a second. Okay. So with that nerve being exposed, you have all of these sensations. It is regarded, trigeminal neuralgia, as one of the most painful, if not the most painful, medical condition that you can have. Now, I know some of my TN friends are going, Brainger Ron. It is. It is the most painful. Yeah, you're right. But I don't want to diminish anybody else's pain. That's non-productive. Pain is pain. Whether you have trigeminal neuralgia or you broke your arm, got a hangnail, I don't care. Pain is pain. It's just the different levels of pain that one can have. And TN, as we like to call it, really rates high up there. Some people will say, well, what about kidney stones? I've passed kidney stones, and good Lord, that's torture. My whole family pretty much has kidney stones. You know, we could get up on stage and just wiggle, 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 get those quarries kind of grooving, and we'd be like our own family maracas. It's incredible. Kidney stones suck. Kidney stones pass. Trigeminal neuralgia doesn't pass. Some folks will say, hey, wait a second, Brainger Ron, childbirth. I don't know what to say about that one. With the exception of the fact that roughly 70% of those who have trigeminal neuralgia are women. Most of them are over the age of 50. That demographic is kind of changing.
Me again. I never really completed the thought when I was walking. It is true, roughly about 70% of those who are diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia are women, and they generally are over the age of 50. However, that is changing. The ages are starting to go down and down and down. There are actually reports of even children having trigeminal neuralgia. That's, I can't even imagine that one. But pretty much every single woman that I've talked to, through the social groups and all of that, who have given childbirth, yeah, that they'll take childbirth over trigeminal neuralgia as well. That is what they said. Again, I can't really comment on that, but I would hate/love to talk to somebody who has given childbirth, has passed kidney stones, and has had trigeminal neuralgia, and to see exactly where they would rate those pains. Um, Again, I would never want to wish anybody on that unholy trifecta, but hey. Anyways, this should be the last time I have to interrupt myself, so let's go enjoy the sunshine a little bit more.
As diagnoses get better, more and more younger people are finding out that they have this. So yeah, you've got your 3 nerves are working. Check out Sam Webster on that link. Seriously, folks. He can tell you a lot more about it than I ever could. Trigeminal neuralgia took my job away from me, my career. And some dark times. Still is. Trying to get better the best I can. Today's a good day, which is why I wanted to take you guys outside. I'm doing pretty good. Keeping my trigger spot untouched. Oh yeah, trigger spots. When your nerve gets all jacked up, what can happen is there'll be certain hot spots on your face. And even just the mildest touch, heat, cold, wind, maybe a teardrop, brim of a hat, they kind of brush up against that area of your face that is one of these hot zones. Man, you can go into an instant flare. I did have a surgery. We'll talk about that in another episode, called a microvascular decompression. And for some of you watching, I'm certain you might have had one too. And it's hit or miss. You have an exposed nerve. Doctors are going to try to separate whatever is rubbing up against that nerve or remove it. But your nerve is still raw. I'm going to try their best to let it heal up on its own. Works for some, doesn't work for all. For me, it was kind of a 50-50. I had a wicked trigger spot right up there on my forehead, the hairline. And Rangers, we wear those big flat brimmed hats. Whew, man, that was torture. Surgery got rid of that one. But my other real hot zone, my trigger spot. It's on my right cheek, right there in the maxillary area. So I have to be careful with that. It's one of my tells. If I start feeling a little corkscrew or a tingly, an electric feel, yeah, it's time just to stop doing whatever I'm doing and go take a lie down. Usually have to do that a couple times a day. But yeah, there's a lot of people who can talk about the pain, as I said, in a much more dignified fashion. There's a lot of people out there, myself, who are pretty much incapacitated because of this issue. Hey, look, ducks. Quack, quack. So how do we cope? What do we do to limit the numbers of triggers that you get? And there's a lot of ways that I've learned over the years, my friends. I want to share those with you, and all in one go. I'll tell you, even if my voice doesn't trigger a flare, whew, you guys would get tired of hearing me talk so much. But yeah, there's a lot of hacks out there. And the number one hack that I want to share with you today, sort of this inauguration of this channel, is BoBo. Say hi again, BoBo.
Hello, everyone.
There he is. I was rated as extreme for trigeminal neuralgia. Within 6 months after my first and worst flare, I couldn't speak anymore. I just sat down in a chair and twitched all the time. And I felt helpless, like there was nothing I could do. One day, I'm sitting there in my chair, got my heat pack, my cold pack, putting up there on my face. And it got so bad, I had so much anxiety, so much anger, that I just kind of whispered under my breath, "Screw you, BoBo." And you know, as soon as I did that, I felt a little better. Not a lot, but a little. Folks enjoying the day. So, what I did is I took my pain and I personified it. That way, when I was caught in a flare, even today when I'm still caught in a flare, I talk to BoBo. My pain, my trigeminal neuralgia. And by personifying my pain, I also just minusculely separated myself from the situation, from the pain. And I just said, you know, BoBo, you gotta stop this. And of course, when I said that, BoBo responded with,
You call that a flare? I'll show you a flare.
yeah, BoBo's an ass. But, like I said, it did help a little bit. That's my number one hack. Talk it through, think it through, give your pain a name. Take that aggression out on that pain, that thing. Hello. After a while, you'll realize you can start making fun of the pain. One thing that was torturous, and I'm certain it's the same for you, is when you have that loved one come up to you and they ask, "How are you feeling today? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling?" And it's always the same answer, isn't it? I hurt. This sucks. I don't know what I can do. I don't know if I can handle this. It starts getting to a point you cringe when somebody asks you, how are you doing? And after a while, you just start saying, oh, I'm fine. Guys, your loved one knows you're not fine. And when you say that to an extent over numerous times, they think you're getting shut out. Wife and I had a really big blow-up argument about this. And of course, I couldn't speak, so I was just like, my handwriting stinks too. But giving my pain a name, oh man, made it easier to talk to my friends about it. My wife, my family, everyone. And they said, how's BoBo today? Because they hated BoBo just as much as I did. And I'd still be honest. I'd say, well, he's being a bit of an ass today. Or he's having a party up there. Nobody's invited. They're just banging on the drums up there. Or, how's BoBo today? You know, he's a little quiet today. Maybe we could try to go do something. Yeah. It's my number one hack, guys. Give your pain a name. Shortly before I decided to start this channel, I was farting around on the internet. Again, I can look at my camera, not much else. And I actually found a paper on personifying your pain. I'll give you a link. It's a good read. And if you can't read it, like me, because I can't read very well anymore, causes a flare, have them read it to you. Work with them. Work with your loved ones. Do your best. You're stronger than you think. For a long time, I felt alone. Found some social groups. Joined them. Didn't take them long for me to understand that I am not alone. And from there, I learned I had a sense of humor again. You can too, my friend. So we've actually gone about a mile and a half now. It's a good day for me. Normally I can't do this. You guys gave me the strength. Thank you. So as I said, I'm going to make other videos. Please leave in the comments what you'd like to talk about. Please give me a like. Subscribe. I'm not doing that for vanity reasons. And I'm not monetizing this. I want to share. I want to give back the love that has been given to me over these years. And you're part of that group now. So I'm going to go home now. Have a little water. Pet my dog. Sit in my chair and take a nap. Before we go, I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll get out on the trail again. Trigeminal Neralgia. But for now, I think it's time. And the only thing I have to say is I love you, every single one of you. Except you, BoBo. Screw you, BoBo. Screw you.
I hate that hashtag.
I know, BoBo. I know.